So, what if working longer hours isn't actually the secret to becoming rich? It's kind of a provocative question, isn't it? I mean, we're all raised on this idea that the harder you grind, the more you make. But what if that whole equation is just completely broken? What if the smartest people out there are actually making exponentially more money while physically working less? Well, welcome to today's Explainer. I am genuinely so excited to dive into this with you because today we are breaking down the source material for the Millionaire Blueprint Wealth Through Strategic Leverage. We're going to unpack the actual nuts and bolts of smart work and leverage. We're skipping the motivational fluff and looking straight at the actual structural systems that build true wealth. Okay, let's run through our roadmap for today. We'll kick things off with the hard work myth, then shift into thinking like a millionaire, followed by the absolute core of this blueprint, the power of leverage. After that, we'll hit smart habits and costly mistakes and wrap the whole thing up with a step-by-step action plan to wealth. Starting right off with Section 1, the hard work myth, and why elbow grease alone just fails. You know, it's deeply frustrating to look around and see millions of incredibly dedicated people putting in 60, maybe 70 hours a week, and yet they never actually become millionaires. Clearly, elbow grease isn't the magic ingredient here. The root of this whole frustration really comes down to the fundamental difference between earning money and building wealth. See, when you just earn money, you're directly trading a completely finite resource, your time, for a paycheck. You literally cap out at 24 hours. But building wealth, that relies on systems, like software or investments that can scale infinitely. They are totally detached from your personal clock. So we really need to swap out this concept of hard work for smart work. But what does that actually mean in the real world? Well, the source material defines it super tangibly. Smart work is all about solving valuable problems, utilizing technology, building systems, delegating repetitive tasks, and creating multiple streams of income. It isn't just some corporate buzzword. It's an engineering mindset applied to your everyday efforts. You are building a powerful engine, not just running on a treadmill. Moving into Section 2, thinking like a millionaire. This is a ground-up change. Building this kind of wealth requires a massive, fundamental shift in how you approach everyday decisions, how you view risk, and how you allocate your resources. There are 5 foundational habits that really separate the ultra-successful from everyone else. It all starts with continuous learning and taking calculated, not reckless, but calculated risks. You've got to think long-term, deliberately focus on assets over liabilities, and consistently invest in high-value skills and relationships. These aren't just one-and-done tasks, right? They're basically lenses through which you need to view every single opportunity. Actually, if there's just one mindset shift you lock into your brain today to break out of that toxic hustle culture trap, let it be this. Focus on acquiring assets instead of accumulating liabilities. It's a real game changer. A liability just takes money out of your pocket every single month. But an asset puts money into your pocket, whether you are awake, asleep, or chilling on a beach somewhere. Which brings us to Section 3, the power of leverage. This is all about scaling your efforts. So if assets are the ultimate goal, leverage is the tool we use to build them. Leverage is the core mechanism that allows a single piece of your work to generate income repeatedly over and over again. Just consider the stark contrast here. An employee works for 8 hours and gets paid exactly once for those 8 hours. But an entrepreneur, they use leverage. They create one product, like an app or a really great book, and they get paid thousands of times for that single initial effort. That is a massive aha moment. It is quite literally the difference between linear growth and exponential growth. Let's quickly talk about the diverse tools available to actually scale your effort today. Leverage comes in a few different flavors. You've got technology and AI, the massive reach of social media and the internet, building teams to multiply your output, using capital to fund your growth, and creating digital products. Now, you don't have to use all of these at once, no way, but utilizing even just 1 or 2 of these entirely rewrites your earning potential. Let's ground this abstract concept into concrete reality for a second. What do these leveraged assets actually look like in the real world? Well, we're talking about online courses, YouTube channels, software as a service products, affiliate marketing funnels, digital businesses, and of course, traditional investments. It's all about building a digital storefront that stays open 24/7. These are real, tangible assets you can build once and then monetize endlessly. That takes us to Section 4, Smart Habits, Costly Mistakes. Let's talk about maintaining momentum. Okay, building these assets is one thing, but keeping your momentum going, that's another beast entirely. We really need to look at the practical habits required to maintain this new trajectory. The source material lays out 7 smart habits, but honestly, I want you to think of them as a sequence, like a mini narrative for your success. First, you feed your mind. You read every day and learn high-income skills. Then you optimize. You automate the repetitive work and focus entirely on one profitable goal. Finally, you scale. You network with successful people, invest consistently, and ruthlessly reinvest your profits to compound your success. It's a beautifully simple cycle when you really look at it. But on the flip side, you have got to protect yourself from the common pitfalls that can totally derail your progress. Please take this to heart. Stop waiting for the perfect moment because honestly, it simply does not exist. Avoid the temptation of chasing shortcuts or those flashy get-rich-quick schemes. Never depend on a single source of income, and whatever you do, don't let the fear of failure stop you from even starting. And absolutely crucial here, stop spending your surplus cash. Invest it instead. And finally, Section 5, your action plan to wealth. Let's look at a practical roadmap. This is where we take all this theory, all these big concepts of leverage and mindset, and translate them into a practical, chronological roadmap that you can actually follow. Becoming a millionaire sounds super daunting, but mapping it out onto a timeline makes it so structured and achievable. Month 1 is strictly about foundations. Learn a skill, read a book, make a budget. By months 2 through 6, you're applying that knowledge by starting a side business and building a digital presence. As you hit year 1, you pivot hard into leverage, creating those digital assets and automating. And years 2 through 5, that's when you aggressively scale, build out multiple income streams, and lock in your long-term wealth. It's not magic, guys. It's simply structured execution. The absolute ultimate takeaway from all of this is right here. Millionaires don't simply work harder. They build systems that work for them. I'll say it again. They build systems that work for them. Your greatest asset isn't your time. Your greatest asset is your ability to create value, to solve problems, and to consistently apply smart strategies. So I want to leave you with this one provocative thought. You have the blueprint now. You know the exact difference between trading time and using leverage. So what system will you build today? Start small, stay disciplined, and let your smart decisions compound. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and honestly, I can't wait to see what you build.